your journey into the heart and soul of Greece. And now, member-supported Hellenic Public Radio Cosmos FM 91.5, a bilingual Greek-American radio program coming to you every day through WNYE 91.5 FM. From the Demetrius and Georgia Kaloidis Broadcasting Studios to the greater New York area and worldwide through cosmosfm.org. Our programs air Monday through Friday from 7 to 8 p.m., Saturdays from noon to 3:30 p.m., and Sunday mornings from 9 to 1:30 p.m.
Τα πείσματα και έβγανα σεργιανίσεις. Όπα, μα εσύ είσαι η μόνη που μπορείς την πίστα να στολίσεις. Κόρεψε φως μου να σε δω να σ' αποκαμαρώσω. Όπα κι ό,τι έχω μέσα στην καρδιά εσένα θα το δώσω. Εσένα μόνο, εσένα. Από το πάνω πόρτι. Όπα, επρόβαλεν η μάνατζη και φώνιαξε με μόρτι. Αυτή δεν ξέρει δυο αυγά να μου χτυπά στο μπλέντερ. Μόνο να ξημερώνεται μέσα στο χόντο σέντερ. Όμως καλά λύτσι ο κορκός θα βγει και εμένα τα σπριλάδι. Γιατί έχει την αγάπη μας κι είναι χωρίς ψεγάδι. Γεια σου Αποστολάκη. Τα μάτια μου γυναίκα να τσιμιάζει. Όπα, ό,τι φουστάνει κι αν φορεί Θεέ μου πως τη ταιριάζει. Το βάλε πάλι σήμερα το χρώμα που τσιπάει. Και παραπονεθήκανε τα λούλουδα του Μάη. Όπα, πείσμα και εσύ πείσμα κι εγώ και θα πεισματωθούμε. Και θα γυρεύουμε κι οι δυο γιατρό να γιατρευτούμε. Αρρώστησα και μου πάνε πως για να μην πεθάνω θανθούς από τη νιώτη σου να μυριστώ να γιάνω. Μόνο έτσι θα γιατρευτώ.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Counterpoint. This week, we're so excited to have with us Alexis Androulakis and Christina Basias, partners in life and in business as of 2019, when they combined their passion for beauty and activism and built their company Femme Power Beauty, a luxury activist beauty brand featured in New Beauty, Coveter, Nylon, Well and Good, and many other places, and they have also appeared on Good Morning America. Femme Power Beauty is a beauty brand showcasing clean, vegan, and cruelty-free products while giving back to the community and advocating for women's rights and femme empowerment. We're so excited to have Alexis and Christina here with us.
Ενημέρωση, πολιτισμός, ψυχαγωγία, Κόσμος FM.
Welcome, ladies. So excited to have you on.
Hey. Hi.
So the first thing we ask everyone, especially, mostly our Greek guests, is where in Greece are you from? And I know the background story that you're both from the same island, which is so random and crazy.
Yeah, random, crazy, and also poetically amazing. We're both from Crete. We're both from Chania. We actually lived closer in Chania than we did in New York and New Jersey when we met, which was really wild. So
yeah, it's been this April will be 7 years that we've been together. Christina and I are partners in business and in life. And as a fun fact, even on our very first date, we actually talked about me starting a beauty business and Christina's vested interests in
education and starting some type of give back organization.
So this unity, this relationship, and this partnership has been brewing since the beginnings of our, as I mentioned, very first dates.
Yeah, actually, it was really ironic because in the spring that I met Alexis in 2014, I was studying abroad with NYU, and I was going to Ghana to study education just to see. I just finished my master's, and I wanted to see what classrooms overseas looked like. And I said, what better way to see classrooms than to do it with an educational opportunity with New York University? And then I remember telling my friends, I said, I really want to go to Crete. I haven't been there in a really long time, but I want to rediscover my Greek identity. And literally a week later, Alexis just pops up in my life.
Virtually, of course.
Virtually. We met on a dating app. And the only mutual interest we had was Crete. I said, oh my God, this can't be true. So then when we met and I was telling her how I was entertaining going to Crete after Ghana, she was like, oh, we must go.
Yeah.
And then literally 2 months later, we found ourselves on the island and Alexis was showing me all of these places that I really never went to. And, that's when I think it was solidified and we fell in love. But also, I fell in love with Greece all over again in a new way. So it was really amazing.
Yeah. And I have to echo that. I'll never forget just being so incredibly nervous to go to Greece for the first time while falling in love with a woman. Because previously I had only dated men, primarily Greek men. And it was very, very nerve-wracking, but at the same time, the most incredibly freeing experience because truthfully, is there a better place to fall in love than on the Greek islands? I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree.
So to get to experience that all over again through the lens of love and just like watching, every sunset and probably every sunrise together for the 3 weeks that we were there together, I think set a tone for us as partners that really just, gave us the strength we needed to be the models and the role models for all the younger generations to come and to be on this path of self-discovery and eventually led to us and the courage, I believe, for both of us to launch our own business, which I'm sure we'll talk about today, Femme Power Beauty.
Wow. So from the very first date, you were planning on how to ultimately open what now we know as Fempower Beauty.
Yeah, it was one of the conversations, bless you, Alexis was talking about starting a beauty brand. And I was in education. I'm still in education, but at the time I was teaching high school in Brooklyn, high school English teacher in Brooklyn. And I wanted to do something bigger and I didn't know what. Like I said, I just finished my master's. I was thinking of a PhD program. Now I am currently in the PhD program in my 5th year. I'm a candidate. I graduate in May, so I'm going to get my doctorate.
Oh, nice. What is that on?
That's in urban education specifically. So I'm very education heavy. My ideas are surrounding educational technology before it was cool, before coronavirus, BC era.
Wow.
But yeah, so when I met Alexis going back 7 years ago now.
Yeah,
right?
7 years.
Almost, It's going to be 7 years in April. I was talking about how I wanted to do something bigger, but I didn't know what that was. I wanted to do some type of nonprofit or social give back organization. And like I said, Alexis was talking about a beauty brand. So when the Women's March happened in 2017, after Trump was elected and we saw the collective power of women coming together, it wasn't even about politics at that point. It was really about, how women came together, and we thought, wow, this is the moment to really do something. Everyone's coming together in this new way that, we haven't seen for the past 8 years. I mean, yes, there was unity. Yes, there was advocacy, but now, the massive collective power, the global impact of that, the pink hats, the lipstick, the everything.
It was incredible.
It was so incredible. So we said, this is the moment to do both of our things, our nonprofit and the beauty brand, but merged together. And then Fempower Beauty was born.
Yeah. And really to demystify, I think if there are any aspiring entrepreneurs in the audience today listening, it's never a situation where you get to wake up one day, realize your dream and quit your job. It is a long and grueling process, but by design, in the sense that it has to allow you the ability to essentially go through all of the hardship, because being an entrepreneur is truly the hardest job in the world, in the sense that, it's unrelenting, and the grit and the tenacity to break through. And a lot of that strength I was describing earlier, just in that self-discovery of coming out as a woman who was bisexual in the Greek community. And then ultimately realizing that my identity at that time, had it changed, and it was coming into my own, and realizing I'm ready to start a business. I'm ready to build the changes that I want to see in this world. And I couldn't think of a better partner than my partner to do it with. And we just kind of blindly said, okay, let's start. And the beginnings are very, we were both working full time. It's like logo development, ideation, up all night on weekends, mapping out on a whiteboard, the big dream.
It was 2 years of development before we actually launched. It was, it's definitely not easy to start something from scratch, which we learned the hard way. Yeah. But it was quite a journey, and it still is a journey in its own right. I think a lot of entrepreneurs, when they first start out, think so much about just getting their product to launch that once they do launch, it's like, okay, now you have to sustain what's ever happening. So we're experiencing it all. And I'm sure we'll get more into this also, but we're currently fundraising for our business as well. And we just had our first pitch last night to investors,
exciting,
which is super exciting.
Yep.
So yeah, we're experiencing all the colors of what it means to be a startup entrepreneur, from launching small to, having inventory in your home and shipping it out, to, being live on TV and getting a check cut to you on Good Morning America, really randomly, with only having to prepare. We've been through a lot.
Yeah.
And great. It's been quite the journey, really incredible, and really humbling too. It's been awesome.
And to go back for just a minute to kind of the precipice of the convergence of our two worlds and these ideas, it really goes back to sitting in Christina's apartment, the first apartment we spent all of our time in the beginnings of our relationship, being on the couch that Saturday night, watching all the footage from the Women's March, and then realizing again, like that was the moment, and then pushing forward. And eventually, you have to allow yourself time as an entrepreneur to allow your ideas to develop. You're never going to start with the single idea and find yourself 3 years later in that same moment. It doesn't work that way. You have to be so open and so mindful of the changes that are happening to you as you grow. And that is something that I think we've been true to ourselves and to the business from the very beginning. So what began as this idea of kind of retracing history, we started with 4 lipsticks, the Genesis collection. They're live now on our website, fempowerbeauty.com.
So that's empower with an F in the beginning, fempowerbeauty.com.
And we started to pay homage to the story of Genesis because we really wanted to highlight the first time in history where women were seen as lesser than, to really magnify the idea that you're able to reclaim your story in whatever capacity makes sense for you as a woman. And that could be sexuality, that could be business. I mean, we all saw My Big Fat Greek Wedding, right? Tula defied all odds and left the family business and pursued her dream, which is metaphorical of what we're trying to do in many ways.
I love it. We'll be back after this song.
Στο βυθό σου να βρεθώ, να αγαπηθώ, να λυτρωθώ. Έλα, πάρε με στα γαλανά σου τα νερά, δώσε στα όνειρα φτερά. Ταξίδια μακρινά στου δειλινού τα μενεξιά. Έλα, πάρε με, δώσε μου αίμα και μιλιά, σε χρυσαφένια κρογιαλιά. Το κορμί γεννάει. Έλα, πάρε με και θεϊκός μου γίνε στίχος που τον χορεύει ο ρυθμός κι ο ψάλτης ήχος.
Welcome back, everyone. We just listened to Haroulis Ela Pareme. We are here with Alexis and Christina of Empower Beauty. So we were talking about the company and the beginnings of it, and how we were getting to how Women's March really inspired you guys to to really, I mean, you had the thoughts since your first date, but the Women's March really solidified that you're doing this, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Really, the connection with the Women's March and our brand is, like Alexis said before, when you're an entrepreneur, your first idea doesn't mean it's going to be the idea that sticks throughout the entire lifespan of the entrepreneurial journey of the business that you're starting. So the initial idea was that we're going to make lipsticks, right? And why lipsticks is because lipsticks is metaphorical of our voice, right? And when we put our lipstick on, it's literally like the power that a woman wears or that a femme human wears, right? So the equation that we gave sometimes in press was it's the equivalent to the male power tie, right? So we wanted to launch with lipstick and initially give back a certain percentage of proceeds to social impact organizations. And then that turned into, as we were developing the brand, a buy one, give one model. So when our customers buy a lipstick, we would actually give a lipstick. And we don't think about lipstick or beauty products as something necessarily that women in need or humans in need actually, quote unquote, do need, if that makes sense. But actually they do, right? Because if they want to go on a job interview, or if they want to empower themselves, right? Or if they want to assimilate into society. Actually, a really interesting historical fact is that in Nazi Germany, when the Jews left the concentration camp, a lot of the times what the women would actually want is a lipstick to assimilate back into society and to feel normal, right? So, beauty is a need, right? And this is sometimes an argument that could be debated, but where our argument is that beauty is a need. And it's it's our birthright to feel beautiful, and it's our birthright to empower ourselves. So that has stayed consistent, the birthright to empower ourselves. More recently, though, that has been our advocacy. So it's been very much self-advocacy. More recently, with 2020, since COVID, we've started to think about our brand in not necessarily a different way, but in a more elevated way.
Sure. And what we realized and this is a great kind of segue into how 2019, just to give some timeline, we had a soft launch in January of 2019. And then by November of that same year, found ourselves at a female empowerment conference with a line of women just waiting to try on the product and introducing them to our brand and meeting our customers, which was incredibly powerful. And, ultimately for us getting to meet these customers and getting to talk to them about what they wanted and what they needed, what we realized was they wanted more tools. They wanted more community. They wanted more events. And we built an entire, pipeline of events and give back events for 2020 that we kicked off with actually in February of 2020. And then, as we all know, actually days before the entire world shut down in March, Christina and I found ourselves in Los Angeles at our very first live give back event. And we had partnered with an organization then called Dignity Not Despair. And these were groups of female refugees. And what we realized by spending the day with these refugees is, as the lipstick empowered them in ways that were beautiful, it was very much a momentary mood shift. And this goes back to touching into the journey of entrepreneurship and constantly making your product and your brand better. So what we learned in that give back experience right before the world shut down with COVID was how we thought about how incredible it would be to give these women, these humans, more than just a product. And that was something that was sitting in the backs of our minds as we rethought about every aspect of our brand during COVID, because what that pandemic did for us was force us to sit down and really think about, how do you stay relevant at a time of such social unrest, at a time of such uncertainty, at a time where anxiety, depression, the unknowns were so vast that it almost felt as if it was taking over, every single one of us. So we didn't just react to COVID. We listened very actively. And it was through those months that we started doing events virtually. And we started to implement a practice that at Fempower Beauty, we like to call the affirmation application. And we'd love to share a little bit more about that. And we'd also love to offer this course to the wonderful audience listening today. You can reach us at the URL
fempower.energy/affirm. So that's empower with an F in the beginning, fempower.energy/affirm. And this is how we're kind of changing things in 2021 and beyond. So as I said before, very much about self-advocacy before with the buy one, give one model. But now we're really about, self-empowerment and making sure that when you look in the mirror, that you're not talking negatively to yourself. Because I'm sure if we were to ask the question to you all and to listeners right now, what is the first thing that you said to yourself when you looked in the mirror this morning? It was probably something negative, right? And we don't actually think that affects us negatively in the long run, but it does, because every single day you're saying something negative to yourself, right? And this is not just for women, this is for men too.
Yes.
You look in the mirror and you're not talking nicely. And just the simple act of changing a routine. If you're a woman and you're putting on your makeup, or if you're a man and you're doing your shaving cream, or whatever your routine is, if you're washing your face or skincare, if you change that ritual and you turn that around and you start to actually associate positive words, positive intentional language around the product that you're putting on your face, you could actually change your mindset, right? Think about it as a ritual meditation practice. And that's what we're trying to advocate here for with the affirmation application that Alexis is talking about. And during these affirmation application sessions, Alexis, who's actually, yes, our product developer, but also a makeup artist for an extreme amount of time.
Yep.
She teaches you how to put on your makeup product, but also how to associate positive language so that you change your cognitive behavior. And in the long run, what we've seen from the short amount of time that we've done this, and we're trying it ourselves also, is that you actually are more empowered and you actually are more confident and you actually are more secure. So we're piloting and we're beta testing the affirmation application. You can book a session with Alexis to take you through it at fempower.energy/affirm. And for the first 100 people that complete these sessions, we're giving away one free lipstick to help solidify that practice so that you can practice it at home.
And that's available.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Aggeliki, we should both do it.
Absolutely.
It sounds so relevant because it's so easy to give a nice compliment to someone else. And we often are trained kind of to see the beautiful things in other people. But when it comes to ourselves, we tend to focus on the negative things,
Absolutely.
And it's rare to wake up one day, go to the mirror and say, wow, I look so good today.
Yeah.
Very rare.
So I love that.
80% of the thoughts that we have that are negative actually happen when we're alone, right? And you're so right. The data and the science actually says that you're more likely to give someone else a compliment than you are yourself, right? And when we think about the moments that we are alone, it's when we do wake up and we're going to the bathroom or we're looking in the mirror. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's the perfect opportunity to reframe that narrative.
That's right. And you hear so often, you shouldn't surround yourself with people that give you negative energy, but the same goes for yourself too. You shouldn't give yourself negative energy. And I love that the affirmation happens when you put on your product, because beauty is really about bringing, letting yourself shine through, not changing yourself.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which has been misconstrued in advertisements, right? Because if you look at the history of advertisements as well, and this is a project that we've done internally with our team, you look back into like the 1920s to like the 1950s,
and the 70s and the 80s.
It really hasn't changed. It's just, it looks different, but it hasn't changed, right? In the 1950s, yes, it was in newspapers and magazines, but now I would actually argue that it's worse, because what's happening is that you go on social media, you go on these tech applications, and these augmented reality filters that these young girls and young humans are using are actually advertisements in themselves that show that you have to change yourself in order to fit in, right? But that's not
and
true.
It's not real.
It's not real.
That's the worst part.
And, there's increasing suicide rates. I mean, I'm sure
triple digit growth between girls aged 10 to 14 year over year.
Right. And, that has to associate with technology. And I'm sure if you've seen The Social Dilemma, there's this really striking graphic that shows.
Yeah, it's really terrifying.
Yeah. And so it's horrible. Look, technology has a lot of good too. And we're not saying that technology is the only evil here. the argument is that advertisements, even though they look different, the messaging has not changed. It's that you need this product to fit in. And now it's just being done in more creative and I would say vicious ways, right? Because now the advertisement is no longer a model that is shot in a campaign with language. Now the advertisement is the user who's actually unknowingly advertising something else to their friends. And it becomes this very complicated social dilemma. So we're kind of fighting against that and reminding people to talk nicely to themselves and be human. And it sounds like such a simple idea and it's such a simple practice, but it actually does change the way that you live your life.
And to go into a little bit of the process and the practice and what it kind of entails, really, it's something that you can do essentially for free, which is beautiful because mental health often does come at a hefty price tag. I think for anyone struggling with, anxiety or depression or any of the more common mental health issues that exist, there's always a premium to treatment. And this is something that you can do, as I mentioned, for free. And what it starts with, and at the core of this practice and the ritual and what I teach you is self-compassion, which is essentially self-love. And really there's 3 elements that make up self-compassion. And number 1 is that you have to connect with yourself and you have to look at yourself. Number 2 is that you have to touch yourself physically, which feels incredible. I recommend everyone gives themselves a little face massage, maybe play the piano keys under your eyes, But the third piece is that verbal kind of affirmation. So when we think about makeup and we think about the routine that you probably get into automatically now, you're already doing 2 of the 3 things you need to do to show yourself self-compassion. So now all we're doing is arming you with the third to solidify the trifecta and to get you to a place where you're conscious. I am beautiful. I am enough. I'm a badass. Any of the things that you need to make it through the day. And that is the practice.
Imagine what kind of difference that would make, in your confidence. And when you're confident, that's everything. You can feel like you can accomplish anything. So it's very important.
So we're starting a challenge.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Everybody listening, go on their FemPower Instagram. Watch Christina do it very successfully.
I do, yes.
And film yourself saying something positive to yourself while wearing
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, Katerina is notorious for coming up with challenges on the spot.
I mean,
but
we definitely love to also repost our community. So if you are listening and do want to do it, absolutely, we will repost you. And we're all also about, people empowering other people. So if you can, start this challenge and inspire other people to do it as well, you'll see that shift that happens.
Yeah.
That's great. And everyone should go on Instagram and follow FemPower Beauty. I will say that I was looking at your content this morning as I was coming here, and it really just makes me want to apply lipstick because the way you do it and the things you say while you apply lipstick. Like, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it is.
Aggeliki loves makeup. So
I do. And, I want to circle back to what something you mentioned before about the lipstick and how at first glance, it doesn't seem like it's a product that someone needs necessarily, but it's so much more than that because first of all, it symbolizes having a voice, like you said. And then when someone feels empowered and beautiful, there's the potential is, unlimited.
Yes.
So I love the idea of the lipstick being central to your brand.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. Yeah. And that's why we launched with lipsticks.
Yeah.
And like we said before, we're currently, we just did our first pitch last night to investors. So we are raising funds. And we are part of what we're raising for is to build a community of people who want to empower other people in this way. So if you're interested, please subscribe to us. More details on that to come. And we're going to expand our product launches, right? That are going to be doing even more of that. And words matter, right? And, the language that we associate with the beauty products matter as well. Alexis, can you talk more about that?
So I have a fun little story about lipstick. Of course I do, right? As a makeup obsessed human. But when as I mentioned earlier on the show, how, this idea of rediscovering yourself and understanding there's a lot of intense feelings that arise. And I was in my mid-20s when I realized that I was not just attracted to men, but I was also attracted to women. And in that moment of that discovery, to get ready for my first date with a woman, which coincidentally happened to be Christina, I had to sit down and get ready for this date. And I had to look myself in the mirror, and I had to almost rediscover who I was in that moment. And what's interesting is, as a diehard fanatical lipstick fan, I decided in that moment that I couldn't put lipstick on because lesbians don't wear lipstick. Now, where I got this information from, who knows? It was something that, for whatever reason, had stuck with me. So I had actually cut my hair. I toned down my foundation. I toned down my whole look. I did not skip out on eyeshadow, though. That I couldn't let go of.
You had so much eyeshadow on.
Well, I was clearly devastated to have to give up the lipstick. So I was like, I'm holding on to the eyeshadow. Don't take it away. No, but what I like to say in this moment, this was what I call my beauty renaissance, because what I realized was that just literally 10 days later, Christina and I happened to be texting, and it was actually funny. I was going to a Greek festival in my community, and I, of course, had my lipstick on. We were not hanging out that day. And I took a selfie and I sent it to her, as one does when they're shamelessly flirting. And she's like, oh my God, like, what lipstick is that? And
yeah, like, you should wear the lipstick.
And I was floored. I was like, oh my God, she just gave me permission to wear my lipstick, and I can wear my lipstick and I can date her. And then all of a sudden, you know, as the weeks kind of turned into months, you realize your identity and who you are as a human being has nothing to do with your sexual preference in this context. You can be the most feminine lipstick wearing woman in the world and love, you know, women, and there are no rules. So what I want to kind of say in closing this thought and this fun little story is, you know, the whole concept of the affirmation application is to let go of the preconceived notions and beauty stereotypes that have been pushed upon us by society, culture, advertising, you know, and all these beauty conglomerates that honestly want to just make money. So,
and we're launching more products to do that.
Yes. So outside of, I'm like, I wanted to really get to the lipstick because that was a big one. I saw that. So what we're really going to focus on now are these curated small little collections of products that really tap into really great educational moments. So you have the teacher, the beauty brand, you know, strategist, product developer, makeup artist coming together. You're going to get a very thoughtful, intentional, you know, educationally driven product line. And we're going to be doing a little trifecta of sexual wellness products to educate on, you know, the importance of consent and the importance of loving and knowing your body. We're going to be doing absolutely. And the reality here is that each launch is an opportunity to educate young women, women of all ages, and, you know, most importantly, to really just transform the way we all look at ourselves and the way we love ourselves.
That's beautiful. I love that there is such an important cause behind your products.
Κόσμος FM, το ελληνικό κοινοφελές ραδιόφωνο.
Welcome back. You're listening to Counterpoint on 91.5 Cosmos FM, broadcasting live through WNYE. This is your host, Aggeliki.
And this is Katerina.
We're here with the lovely Alexis, Androulakis, and Christina Basias, founders of FemPower Beauty. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
So before the break, you guys were explaining to us all the different products that you're going to be launching and the different ideas behind the products. I love that you're basically shattering the standards for the beauty industry. Tell us more about where our listeners can follow your work and get some of your products, maybe participate in some of your fundraising.
Oh, that would be awesome. So we are online. We've been online for about 2 years. So fempowerbeauty.com is where you can purchase our lipsticks. We also have fun merch in the forms of pins, and we have t-shirts as well. So there's definitely options for you to shop through. We just don't have lipsticks. We have more than that. And as we said before, we're going to be expanding our product lineup. So we are going to be expanding our lipsticks, not just our lipsticks, but into other forms of other beauty products, which, stay tuned if you want to see what they are. The merch and the t-shirts as well. And if there's any potential investors who are listening, we're definitely interested to pitch to you. You'll see the roadmap of where we're going, how we plan to expand our community and build this army of empowered humans, which is just going to be absolutely amazing and is what the world needs right now. So if you are an investor and want to have us pitch to you, you can email us at alexis@fempowerbeauty.com, ALEXIS@fempowerbeauty.com, and or Christina at fempowerbeauty.com. So CHRISTINA@fempowerbeauty.com. And we'll be more than happy to show you what we're planning to do in the next 12 months, which is super exciting. And we can't wait.
Yeah. And
I'm
then
excited.
For all the beauty lovers out there that are curious about the affirmation application or just want to spend a little more time with me, these one-to-one sessions are 45 minutes. You can book them now directly on fempower.energy/affirm, AFFIRM. That connects direct to my calendar. We get to hang out. It's a custom session built for you. I curated around everything that you'd like to talk about, everything from entrepreneurship, being, partners in business, partners in life, obviously the beauty aspects. And of course, we'll teach you how to affirm and apply every one of your existing products that you currently own. And we're really excited to get to know all of our community. We are very much, huge fans of Greece. Greece holds a special place in both of our hearts. So we have a soft spot for our Greek community and would love to connect with more of you.
Amazing.
That's wonderful.
So
I think
everybody
I'm going to be taking
follow.
a lunch break and going online
To buy
shopping at
some lipstick.
fempowerbeauty.com.
I know, you should. And then don't forget the challenge.
Yes.
Yes, we're primarily on Instagram. That's where most of our audience lives. So definitely feel free to follow us on Instagram. We're starting with TikTok too. I know TikTok's big with challenges, so this will live on both. If you put on a beauty product in the morning and actually say something kindly to yourself, we want to know about it. Please tag us. Please take a video of yourself doing it, and we will repost you on our social channels. We want to know who you are.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
I'm going to do it. It sounds fun. And we all need some self-love.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
I've
Definitely.
actually seen people also write on their mirror.
Yes, we've had that
Affirmations.
challenge in the past too, and we're going to resuscitate that in the future as well. And so if you want to do it on your mirror and say words of empowerment on your mirror, you could do that too and take a video of yourself. Anything that has to do with beauty product and empowerment and showing you doing that empowerment, we're all here for it. So please tag us. We'll be more than happy to repost you, and we'll probably reach out to you as well.
Totally. And really just the key thing I think I'd want everyone to remember, if nothing else today, when you do look in the mirror at whatever point in your day and you go to say that flaw focused or negative thing, stop yourself. Stop yourself. And that's step one. And the step two, that's the affirmation application. But for now, if you can just bring that awareness to yourself, you're going to be wildly shocked at just how many negative things you go to say.
And then you catch yourself saying, yeah.
So think of FemPower Beauty as the best friend, the hype girl, and kind of, your business coach all in one, really.
Exactly.
I love it. And I can definitely see you guys doing also like a business incubator thing. Like you definitely have the experience and the consulting vibes that I think any entrepreneur in this field or another would be lucky to hear about. But that's an idea for the future.
Yeah, I think what's really exciting about FemPower Beauty and our potential is that we have a roadmap for the next 12 months, but there's really unlimited potential for anyone who wants to join us for that ride as an investor or as a part of our community, because we have big dreams and we have big visions and we have potential big partnerships that could happen. So we're, I think excited is an understatement,
Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. And we're going to Future of empowerment.
That's
gonna be us.
Yes, I love that.
We believe in you. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here. We feel very inspired.
And empowered.
Yes, good. You know where to find us. Book a session. I would love to see your names on my calendar. I have to run off actually to another meeting. I'm like, the day is like never ending of the entrepreneur.
Hustling. I love
it. We work like, when the funniest part was when we spent the 2 months or 3 months in Greece last summer. And it was like the hardest thing in the world to have a New York mindset on a Greek island.
Those two things cannot be reconciled.
Those two things should never be reconciled.
It's definitely not. Definitely tough, but in the best way.
Right. So we loved getting to talk to all of you this evening and to share the FemPower love. And thank you so much for giving us this platform. We're grateful. We're really excited to be connecting with our Greek community. And this was a wonderful little chat.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all your beautiful work. That was Alexis and Christina of FemPower Beauty. And let's go listen to Michalis Hadjiyannis, Χορεύω.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Επικίνδυνα με θες, μες στα κύματα μου παίζεις και τον άνεμό μου καίς. Σαν πηξίδα οι αγκαλιές να μας δείχνουν καλοκαίρι στο έρωτα τις διαδρομές. Με ένα βλέμμα δες, το μυαλό μου παίρνεις, σαν ήλιος με ζεσταίνεις σε θάλασσες γυμνές. Μια καρδιά που θες, εσένα περιμένει, στο σώμα σου αναμένει, χτυπάει δες. Πάμε, με φυλάς και πετάμε, δίπλα σου μόνο να με, ως το πρωί αγκαλιά χορεύω. Κάνε όλοι μας να κοιτάμε, να με κρατάς να γελάμε, παίρνει το σώμα φωτιά, χορεύω. Πάμε, με φυλάς και πετάμε, δίπλα σου μόνο να με, ως το πρωί αγκαλιά χορεύω. Κάνε όλοι μας να κοιτάνε, να με κρατάς να γελάμε, παίρνει το σώμα φωτιά, χορεύω. 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 Στο βυθό σου να με θες, με μια ανάσα μου κομμένη, όσο το φιλί μου θες. Έχουν κάτι ως άδελες, μας κρατάνε χέρι-χέρι στις πιο όμορφες στιγμές. Με ένα βλέμμα δες, το μυαλό μου παίρνεις, σαν ήλιος με ζεσταίνεις σε θάλασσες γυμνές. Μια καρδιά που θες, εσένα περιμένει, στο σώμα σου αναμένει, χτυπάει δες. Πάμε, με φυλάς και πετάμε, δίπλα σου μόνο να με, ως το πρωί αγκαλιά χορεύω. Κάνε όλοι εμάς να κοιτάνε, να με κρατάς να γελάμε, παίρνει το σώμα φωτιά, χορεύω. Πάμε, με φυλάς και πετάμε, δίπλα σου μόνο να με, ως το πρωί αγκαλιά χορεύω. Κάνε όλοι εμάς να κοιτάνε, να με κρατάς να γελάμε, παίρνει το σώμα φωτιά,